During the hurricane season and the wet season, all those systems coming off the coast of Africa bear watching, and we did have the tropical storm Kirk over the weekend, but now we just have the remnants of that system. Meanwhile, separate from that, there's adverse weather alert, which comes to an end at 10 p.m. on Tuesday, which is tonight, and that adverse weather alert still warning of the periods of heavy rainfall likely to cause street or flash flooding, gusty winds, landslips and landslides. Be mindful about that. Over the course of the day, we have seen some of those heavier bursts erupting, especially over central and western areas. You can just see here the white areas, the intense high-level clouds, signifying where we saw some of those heavier bursts. And up towards the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, we've got lots of high-level cloud, which is basically enhancing most of those showers that are coming through. And the tropical wave, which is the reason for all of that moisture, is set to pass through in the early part of Wednesday. Meanwhile, the remnants of Kirk will be passing towards the north through Barbados and the central part of the Eastern Caribbean, so more so for Dominica up towards St. Lucia. Now, the remnants may well strengthen over some warm waters, but it won't last for long, because as it gets closer to the Lesser Antilles, it will encounter some more wind shear here, which will likely inhibit it. So even if it comes across not as a tropical storm towards the north, it will still likely be a huge rainmaker, and obviously the possibility of street or flash flooding exists there across the Eastern Caribbean. So there it is, there are the remnants of Kirk, just as an area of low pressure, and it does over the next few days have a medium chance of strengthening. But as I said, once it gets closer to the island chain, it will likely encounter some unfavorable conditions, but nevertheless will likely be a rainmaker as we go through the next few days, and particularly up towards later on Thursday and going into Friday. So for Tobago then, occasional clouds are still expected, a few showers first thing, but as you go through the morning, do watch out for a lot more sunshine. The sunshine will be there from the north to central areas of Tobago, but then the daytime heating will likely spark one or two showers, especially during mid-morning and into the afternoon. Similarly for Trinidad, most of the heavier showers will subside as the day cools, only a few lingering overnight, but mostly settled if you're in the northern parts of Trinidad. Through the morning, you will notice the clouds beginning to build once more through Arima into Piarco and across to Diego Martin. The tropical wave would have passed, but behind that, you will notice still a bit of moisture trailing behind, and also the breeze will begin to pick up from the eastern areas and then pushing towards the west. So a few blustery showers are possible as you go through mid-morning into the afternoon for southern areas as well, San Fernando, Point Fortin and Icacos. Now what does this mean temperature-wise? Well, with the breeze around and the moisture, we'll likely feel about 32 degrees Celsius, and it will feel humid at times, especially if you're in the western areas away from the breezy eastern shoreline. Now through Thursday and into Friday, there'll still be some moisture around. The presence of the remnants of Kirk will basically add a lot more moisture and some instability there, so we could be seeing a few showers sparking off, particularly for Tobago through Thursday. And then on Friday, conditions will begin to subside, and then on Saturday, look for a lot more sunshine as we start the weekend. Now heading offshore, the winds will definitely be a factor. Obviously the flags are rippling already, and those easterly winds turning towards the northeast, gusting to 20 to 25 knots for the most part, and will likely get even windier as we go through Thursday. So we could be seeing the waves beginning to whip up 2.5 meters out in the Atlantic, 2 meters to the Caribbean, and those northeasterly swells will persist at 13 seconds. Now, the Eastern Caribbean is under mostly settled skies for now, but obviously they are going to be watching the remnants of Kirk making its fast track across the islands through Barbados and then up towards St. Lucia and Dominica. The orange colors there signifying where the bulk of the rainfall will be. We're looking at possibly maybe 30-40 millimeters in places, and obviously that could even be higher over the mountainous areas around Dominica and St. Lucia. So they'll be watching that quite closely. Down towards the mainland for Georgetown, the IPC said will be present. Rainy periods expected for Guyana there. Further up the island chain, as we said, it's mostly settled for now, but it will quickly change once we get to the remnants of Kirk into close proximity come late Wednesday and going into Thursday. For Hispaniola, there's a low-level trough pushing through. It will activate a few of those daytime showers. For the most part, cloudy, with a couple of them turning thundery for Santo Domingo and Port-au-Prince. But for us here, showery spells expected through Wednesday with the afternoon downpour that could turn thundery. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.